Hi there, this is your web mom. Today, your web mom is talking about the plan. Your web mom saw Lyn-Genet Recitas on Dr. Oz program a while back and decided what she was saying about the plan really made a lot of sense. So she bought the book on Amazon and went from there. Your web mom just completed more than 2 weeks of Lyn-Genet's The Plan. She's been on the low thyroid plan. And you have absolutely got to watch this video so you can learn from your web mom's mistakes and also from what she did right. It will save you a lot of grief, a lot of money, and a lot of stress because frankly, I found this to be all pretty overwhelming despite the fact that I reread the book several times. But I'll reveal the benefits and the challenges of losing 7.4 pounds in 6 days. Yes, almost 7.5 pounds, and 10 pounds in 10 days. Yay! So let your web mom tell you, planning ahead for the plan is totally the secret. If you don't plan, you're going to fail. Epic fail. Okay? Now for starters, you might need up to 2 weeks or more of lead time in order to locate and obtain all the foods and the supplements that are recommended by Lyn-Genet in the book. So the first thing you want to do is set a start date, probably about 2 weeks out, and a word to your wise, begin your eating plan on a day when you're not working. You'll be glad you did this. Why? Because you're going to feel wiped out. You're going to need a nap due to the detox effect. Yes, you really will. Your web mom is not a napper, but she found herself desperately needing a nap. So maybe start it on a Sunday, and then you can do your pre-cooking on a Saturday, or start on a Saturday, pre-cook on Friday, whatever works for your personal schedule. First thing, read the book at least twice, highlight, flag, got markers there, yellow highlight, underline, circle, whatever you need to do. Whatever's important to you. There are several sections that you're going to read over and over to make sure that you understand them. You are also going to want to familiarize yourself with Lyn-Genet's resources. She has a website called Lyn-Genet.com. The book says it's theplan.com or something, but that is not it. So don't be surprised if you go there and it's something completely different. Lyn-Genet.com. She also has a Facebook page called the Lyn-Genet Plan, and there's also a forum out there that somebody has started. They're not related to the author, but you might be able to find some resources or support on there too. Do a search for that on Google, the Lyn-Genet Plan forum. The second thing you need to make sure you do is to use the plan menus from the website and not from the book. Despite the fact that the book is like a 2012 copyright, she's made some amendments and so forth to her menus. So use the menus downloaded from the website and not from the book. Most women are probably going to use the thyroid menus, and that's what I used. On the website, she also has a shopping list that you can download and print. She's got the menu plan, she's got the pre-cooking plan, and perhaps you'll also want to download and print the recipe book. You can also use it electronically, but frankly it's a little more convenient to, unless your computer's in the kitchen, to print it. Put them into a folder for easy reference. Your web mom has a bright yellow folder to correspond with the color of the book, and also so she can find it under the morning newspaper on the table. I had this out every single morning because as soon as you come out into the kitchen, you're going to want to write down your weight, your temperature, and look at your plan menus, what you're supposed to do for that day. So here's my timeline. About 2 weeks before starting the plan, I read the book, like I said, twice, reviewed some of the most important sections. I then made a list of all the supplements and the seeds and things that I'd need, and I ordered the brands that the author recommends from Amazon. So if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can get free shipping on most of these things, and delivery is really quite fast, a few days. Here are a couple things that I got online. The hemp seed, the chia seed, I got some kelp online. This is for thyroid support. And I got this online, B12, again for thyroid support. If you can't find it locally, you can get it easily online. I did buy my MSM locally. That's pretty widely available. This is really good for people who have allergies, and I'm going to continue to use this until the whole bottle is done. She really recommends that, but you can also get that online if you want to. If you live in a big city, you might be able to find all this stuff pretty easily, but your WebMom lives in a smaller city, and I never did find a bunch of this stuff. Now, if you have a Trader Joe's, you are indeed a lucky person, because a lot of good plant stuff is available at Trader Joe's, and it's less expensive than you can buy at other places. Some things that I buy at Trader Joe's are my flax seeds, raw sunflower seeds, here's an example of raw sunflower seeds, unsalted and raw, and cheaper than you can buy them even at bulk in most places. Pumpkin seeds, raw crunchy almond butter, which by the way is quite delicious. Your WebMom has discovered this a long time ago, but make sure you get unsalted and raw, and Trader Joe's is often out of it because of their supplier problems. I prefer the crunchy. They do make it smooth too. And you can even add like flax seeds and chia seeds and some of your hemp seeds to this too as a snack. But it is quite delicious. And you can spread it on your rye cracker. What else? Rice and coconut milk are pretty inexpensive at Trader Joe's. They also make a vanilla flavor, which you could put on your flaxseed in the morning. Dried cranberries you can purchase there. Organic raisins. I also found some goat cheese there, and they have a little tub of creamy goat cheese. It's not cheap, but if you like cream cheese, you'll enjoy that. That is, if your cheese is friendly to you. Their nuts are also quite reasonably priced. And again, the almond butter is the best you'll find it anywhere, even cheaper than the place where you grind it yourself here in my local community. I also chose to buy organic products whenever possible, especially since those first 3 days of the plan are a detox regimen. Well, why not? But don't stress out about it if you can't do that. Anyway, you begin by taking your basal body temperature. You can do that right away as soon as you have made up your mind that you're going to do this plan. And that's so you get into the habit. This basal body temperature, BBT, is kind of an indication of your thyroid health. So you take it first thing in the morning before you even get out of bed. And you do need a digital thermometer for this. Put it under your armpit for 2 to 3, close, 2 to 3 minutes. It'll beep, but don't worry about that. Just let it sit in there another minute or two. And then you take it out and you read it. Now I use my cell phone for an alarm, so I set the thermometer on top of the cell phone so I would remember. And then first thing I did, I turn on the radio so I don't go back to sleep. And then I use take the BBT. My personal temperature was quite low and was even below 96 one day, so I definitely knew that I was going to need the thyroid menu. And like I said, about 85% of women will need that menu. Now, 2 to 3 days before the planned day, start your fresh food and local shopping. Although Lyn-Genet has a shopping list on her website, I don't think it's terribly easy to use, and I hope somebody gets around to making one where you can have like check marks and check it off. Spices, I'm not much for hot and spicy anything, and a lot of her foods have like spicy stuff. But I did buy Herbe de Provence seasoning and Fine Herbe seasoning and Italian seasoning blend. And those are pretty good. I'll put them on my salad greens with extra virgin olive oil. And I finally did find some Maine Coast seasonings at a local health store, Dulce. I'm not 100% sure I got the right thing. I think so. There are different types, and Lyn-Genet is not real good about being real specific, or maybe I just don't get it. Okay, 2 days pre-plan. Soak your flax seeds overnight. There's a recipe in the book that works quite well. Follow it closely. Now, to the water, I added a few drops of regular vanilla, cinnamon, nutmeg, and a little bit of cloves. And the recipe calls for going ahead and adding cranberries and raisins and maybe nuts if you've tested them. But I didn't do that till I was ready to eat. I didn't do that during baking, and it worked just fine. I have another video that tells you how to do the flaxseed granola. So look for that on YourWebMom's YouTube channel. Now here's a tip regarding the flaxseed granola. I had more success baking a single batch than I did with doubling the recipe, even though that meant more frequent baking. However, I do think that if you double the recipe and use 2 baking sheets, I think that would work fine. I think the problem was in trying to put it all on one baking sheet. And another tip, refrigerate your coconut or rice milk. So, I mean, you want cold milk, or at least I do. So do that the day before. Measure out the amount of water that you're supposed to drink and put it in a container and put it in the refrigerator. So it'll be cold and measured and ready for you. And do remember that your dandelion tea and your first morning water with lemon juice do count as part of your daily water intake. Lyn-Genet recommends drinking half your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 100 pounds, you drink 50 ounces. If you weigh 200 pounds, you drink 100 ounces of water per day. Again, that includes your morning water and your lemon water. Do your pre-cooking the day before the plan. There is a plan to be downloaded on her website, lyngenet.com. And bake your prepared flax today so it's ready for you tomorrow morning. Now here's another little tip. The recipes say use broccoli stalks. So I was thinking, okay, this is the whole bunch of broccoli that you get in the rubber band, right? But since I had broccoli coming out of my ears and a ton of recipe leftovers, maybe not. So start with the stalk, not the bunch. And you're going to have a lot of leftovers. I nearly ran out of containers to put them in, so you have been warned. The soups will freeze, and that is a good idea to go ahead and freeze portions of the soup. That'll help a bunch. And also here's another tip. Turns out chickpeas and garbanzo beans are the same thing. These are for making hummus. This is not the first week, but they're the same thing. I guess it depends on the region of the country you're in or something. Chickpeas and garbanzo beans, same thing. Who knew? Okay, now you're ready to start. Here's what I did. After drinking the morning water with fresh squeezed lemon juice and dandelion tea. Here's the tea, and I think you can find this most places locally. I ate my flaxseed granola, threw a few raisins and cranberries on there, and doused it all with cold coconut milk. I had no idea coconut milk was so good, but it really, really is. And I also ate a half cup of blueberries. Now the flaxseed is not like, I'm a low carber from way back, and so basically I have eggs every morning. Don't take very long to eat. The flaxseed, a lot of chewing and chewing and chewing. So, you're not going to get done with it in 2.5 minutes. And if you don't chew right, you'll see it on the other end. If you know what YourWebMom means, chew your flax. And then follow the plan for the rest of the day. Now here's how I felt. Very tired, very thirsty. Yes, despite all the water that I drank, and I even took a nap. And YourWebMom is not a napper, believe me. I had a low-grade headache, but on day 2, when I weighed myself, I was down 3 pounds. I had a little hive on my face, not sure why. Maybe it's a detox thing. Day 3, I was down 1.8 pounds. Had a tiny hive on my abdomen again, don't know why. Day 4, I was down 1.2 for now a total of 6 pounds. But I'd had a rotten sleep the night before, could not get to sleep. Now, Lyn-Genet says that means you've eaten a reactive food, but I have no idea what it could have been. I did have to shovel snow that day. We had a bad snowstorm. And I had a really, really bad backache, both upper and lower, even before I shoveled. So, I don't know, maybe the exercise created the inflammation and next day, no weight loss. I assume it was the snow shoveling because I did not try the rye cracker on that day because I've had a long history of wheat allergy. Now, day 6, down 1.4 pounds and a total of 7.4 pounds now, almost 7.5 pounds in on day 6. But again, I was very tired. I took a long nap, did introduce a protein duck. It didn't go over so great, but it was marinated in a saline solution, so that's probably my own fault. Did not lose any weight the next day either. So by day 7, here were some of the benefits that YourWebMom found. I'm much more attuned to how my body reacts to food. I've long had kind of an adversarial reaction, a relationship with foods, and I know there are certain things I cannot eat if I want to be functioning at my peak capacity. And this includes wheat, yeast, corn syrup, anything corn. I did finally try that rye cracker, and oh my gosh, major reaction to that. I did find that my stuffy nose is clearing up, and I've tried several and discovered several new foods that I've never had before, like kale. I've never had kale in my life. I know a lot of people have, but never did. Coconut milk, I'd never had that. The orange zest dressing for the salad greens, that's quite good. One of the challenges was that I was very hungry. And despite the fact that Lyn-Genet says you're not supposed to be hungry, I was hungry to the point where my stomach growled. I was also very thirsty. Yeah, even though, I drank all the water, especially at night, because you're not supposed to drink water after 7:30 in the evening. And for me, that means no water after the evening meal because I eat fairly early. But I do admit to having a few sips at night when I got really thirsty, and that did not seem to affect me negatively. I just didn't drink a lot. I am kind of afraid I'm going to wind up being able to eat about 3 different things. I'm a long-time low carber, like I said, and I really miss my eggs for breakfast and my meat and my veggies. But we'll see what happens. I'm trying to keep an open mind here. I also have been very cold. Quite a few times. I combat this by using my bed buddy, and I did see that you can find these online. I warm it up in the microwave. My bed buddy is pretty beat up, but I like my bed buddy. It started to leak, so we put an old sock over it. You warm it up in the microwave for about 2.5 minutes, and then you can put it around your neck, on your back, or just kind of hug it to you and make your sheets warm. It's very comforting. I really like my bed buddy. Also, another challenge was the intestinal side of things. If you don't like talking about bodily functions, you might want to fast forward this, but YourWebMom's going to tell it like it is. Let's just say that YourWebMom could easily clear an entire store with flatulence. Oh my gosh. I'm used to low carb poops, which are not rank and they're not loose. Planned poops, rank and loose. Just saying. So don't be surprised. Frankly, an outhouse would smell better, really. Bottom line, am I going to continue this way of eating? I'm not sure. But I am pretty sure that I will adapt parts of it, like the morning lemon juice water. I've definitely learned to pay more attention to how foods affect me. And I think that it is doing me well not to snack in between meals. And I found out that I could do this as a result of following this plan. Now, I've always drank a lot of water, but I'm going to continue to do that. And I'm not going to do it 45 minutes before or after meals to allow the digestive enzymes to work properly. One thing that was really great was that Lyn-Genet does allow chocolate. And this many times, just knowing that I could have some chocolate later on kept me from binging on something that I knew I should not. I found these, Ghirardelli, and you're supposed to get dark chocolate, 60% or less cacao. And I found these in these little packets. And these were just perfect. Now, I think you could have 2 or maybe a little more of these, but generally 1 would be enough of these, or maybe 2. Any more than that, I think I started to have a reaction to it. But just knowing that I could have this was enough to, I didn't stop and get this, that, or the other thing when I was tempted to do that. Now, yesterday, I went off plan, ate out with my husband, and I just ordered whatever I wanted. Pork chops with barbecue sauce, and I went to Granite City, so I had my Max Sat, that's Max Satisfaction meal, which is the grilled pork chops with bourbon, barbecue sauce, and Reggiano potatoes, Reggiano hash browns, and instead of the coleslaw, I love the onion strings. So, I ate all that. Guess what? Up 2 pounds today. So I suspect that the weight could easily come back on very quickly. Time will tell. Some of the things I am going to continue doing are, like I say, are drinking the water and not snacking in between meals. So that's about it. I hope this has been helpful and helps you plan your plan, because planning is the key to success in being successful on the plan. Blessings and happy planning to all of you. Thanks for stopping by Your Web Mom's house. I have many more videos on Your Web Mom's YouTube channel, including shortly a couple of plan type videos on there. So thanks for stopping by. Your Web Mom says, sit up straight now and eat your plan-friendly vegetables. Take care.